Hello again, everyone. Here we are back with our income and expenses, our profit and loss statement. And what we want to do is we're going to start with our computations. Okay, we'll go back to this finished version and take a look at this. We have, for each of these stores in the mall, they pay a rent based partly on their square feet of their store, and they also pay a percentage of their sales as part of their rent. Okay, so 95 cents per square foot. They have to contribute that much to their rent. So if you have 2,000 square foot store, you take 0.95 times the 2,000 feet, and that'll give you that part of their rent. Now, they also have to pay 0.5% of all of their sales. So they have to report their sales to the landlord, and they pay a percentage of that as their rent. Okay, so we have to do those calculations. Alright, so here in each one of these stores, they have their sales and the area of their store. So which one should we do first? Let's just go ahead and do their sales. We take this and we will want to multiply this by 0.005, which is 0.5%. We'll do the formatting later. So in here I'm going to put this formula equals this cell times this cell right here. Now I want to drag this formula down, so I want to make sure that the C5 that's here, the C5 does not move, namely the 5 does not move down when I pull it down, so you want to put a dollar sign there and make that reference absolute. The C10, well, you do want that to move down as you drag the formula down. So there we have their contribution of rent from that, and we'll drag this all the way down, and there's the contributions of everyone else using the same formula: C11 times C5, C13 times C5. The proper one moved, and the one that we didn't want to move didn't. Okay, that's exactly what we wanted. Okay, now we compute the rent based on their area. Okay, their area is right here, and we want to multiply that by 95 cents. I haven't formatted that to dollars yet, but we'll do that later. Okay, so this cell times this cell. I didn't type the multiplication sign, sorry. This cell times that, and come up here to the address bar and type the dollar in there, so that will not move down, and drag this formula all the way down. Works like a charm. Okay, now got that. Let's compute the total of these sales. Alright, the quick way to do that, if you remember, is the auto sum button. Now it makes a bad guess because of this blank line right here, so I'm going to yank it up here so that it gets the proper range, C10 to C21. Perfect. Alright, now if I drag this across, do I want this to become D10 to D21? Yeah, that's exactly what I want. So I'm going to take this formula, drag it all the way across, and there we have our totals. This one says 0 because the value's up here, nothing. Alright, now we want to compute their total rent. Now your first instinct may be to come here and just hit the auto sum button. That looks nice, right? Well, that's wrong, isn't it? Because not everything in here is rent. Some of it's square feet. Okay, so don't get too slap happy with the auto sum button. We're going to get rid of that. This is a case where we do want to type out the formula. We want to type out equals their rent from their sales plus their rent from the area. That's their total contribution in rent for this particular store. We'll drag this down, and they change accordingly, and there we go. Everyone's rent and a grand total of $20,692. Okay, now it says right here, North 1 and South 2 have no tenants, do not charge rent. So they did get charged rent, so I'm going to put a 0 there. Always a little touch up that you may have to do. And South 2 should not get charged rent. And you charge the offices rent even though they have no sales. Alright, so that's fine. They have a rent to pay. Okay, now let's run down here to the expenses section. Okay, they have all these categories. They're already filled in, so we're good to go. All we have to do is hit the auto sum button. Poof, there we go. That's their total expenses. Now we need to figure their bottom line. We have to take their income, which is right here, and subtract from that this. Alright, what I'm going to do is I'm going to reference this value from this cell. Do not type it in, do not copy it. Okay, a copy is a copy, meaning that if this actual number changes, this one will change too. So reference it using a formula, an equal sign where the only thing in it is the reference to a cell, equals this, income. That's how you should do it. Equals total expenses. Boom. Now to compute their net value, we take the difference between the two. So equals income minus expenses. Bam. Negative 6,000 something. Okay. Now next thing we're going to do all these formatting things that we've seen in the finished version here for the profit and loss statement. We'll do that in the next video.